Fenders United Methodist Church. This is the biggest one I've done so far. So, J.C. Webster, Ella Hahn, and Luke A. Thompson. Stella Richardson Sharp. James P. and Martha Richardson. Raymond Richardson. Marvin Prosy Grigsby. Donald E. Bettis. W. Richard Bettis. John Short. Ozzy B. Raider. Amanda Kyle. Charles Winslow Call. G.R. Cox. Billy Cox Hale. David Thomas Cooley. Thomas Reagan and Martha Cooley. Call. Elijah Cooley. Harriet Cooley. Louise Grisham. Robert Franklin, Maud Grimes Cassidy. Dora and Harrison Brown. Essie Nora and Robert Boriff. Alma Ruth Boriff. Cheryl Ann Boriff. Betty and Grover Slager. Okay. Francis June Thomas, 1920, 1943. Sarah Jane. Bertie Francis Stevens Burnett. William Gordon Burnett. Bronson Flora May Raby. William and Vonna C. Gray. Billy Ray Gorley Jr. Vicky K. Gurley. Mary E. Cassidy. Cox Marker. Winslow Billings. Cora Billings. William T. and Viola Cassidy. Eugene Dixon, 1902, 1925. Thomas Dixon, 1866 to 1927. Minnie Warwick Cox, 1893, 1984. William Gaines Cox. Dixon Marker. Hubert Stockton. Infant Son, 1933. Infant Daughter, 1944. Johnny H. Dixon, 1911, 1948. Laura C. Warwick Dixon. James H. Moore. Walla E. Dixon. Hattie D. and Howard L. Belcher. Beulah B. and Walter Dixon. W.E. and Myrtle Burnett. Emerson. Kathy Blair. William Keith Emerson. Cornelia and James Wicker. This is Walter Lee Dixon's. James Clinton Stevens. John B. Stevens. Lucille Tuck Stevens. Melvin Roy Stevens. Susan and Bleedy Baker. Okay. Ledford. I can't. Sutton Lou Eller Ledford. And David E. Ledford. Stockton. Lily D. Stockton, 1915, 1933. Maybe. William and Nana Rader. E. Lenore and Charles Cassidy. Arthur Ray and Bessie Mae Terry. Alden Burton Terry. Okay. Bleedy and Susan Baker. Mildred and G. Edgar Green. Clarence Edgar Green there. Somebody headstones are flip-flopped. Grace F. Richardson Raider. Carrie Mae Thomas. Homer and Pauline Ledford. William Kenneth Emerson. Homer Cecil Ledford. Jefferson D. Barnett. Jefferson Barnett's military footstone. Joseph Roscoe Watt. Mamie Lee Watt. Nicholas Malone. Arland and Warren Shutt. Donnie Glenn Oden. John F. Cassidy. Infant, maybe. G.R. Cox. Kara Brown and John Halcomb. (1798, 1881, 1797, 1881). Last name Cassidy. Wife of a Cassidy, William Cassidy. Ivy Mae and Bulis E. Holt. Patsy Holt, right, Rudicil, James and Macklin Evans. Eddie Lee Galloway, Larry Gene Evans. Donald G. Holt, Robert K. and Jill Holt Morris. Some markers up here that you can't read. Last name Wilson. Jane Wilson, maybe. Joseph Alexander. Monteith, Bertie Monteith, Susie Monteith, James Richardson, James and Dora Richardson, Paul and Dane B. Richardson, Dolores, Faye, Mason, Dane B. Richardson, Paul Richardson, DIP, Dave and Gertie Raby, John D. Fontooth, Jimmy B. Dude Mancy, William F. Mancy, Etta Ruth Stockton, Ronald Stockton, Parker, Mary B., Walter J. Parker, Beatrice and William Burnham, James Arthur and Samuel Arthur Brandon, Alexander, William B. Riddle, James Paul Riddle, 03 to 1947. Perry Allison, Maggie and John Allison, Yvonne Allison, Charles and Roberta Turner, John D. Riddle, Martha Ann Hall, Mart A. Hall, Batty Lee Mincy, Elizabeth and James Terry, M.A. Stamper, Bertha Sandridge, James T. Cassidy, Cordelia Standridge, Blance and Jesse R. Standridge, Nanny Wicker and George W. Sitzler, and Samuel A. Wicker, Samuel A. Wicker, Gretchen Lynn Wicker, Gertrude and Ambrose Wicker, Pa Pitcock, Albert Bedford Pitcock. Kitty R and Morris B Pitcock. Tenny L and Will L Emerson. Johnny Sutton. D.P. Sutton. Sutton. R.F. Cooley. 1 J. Miller. William Alexander. These are both Alexanders. Can't read that one. It's on the side. Standridge. Okay, go down to the end and come back up. Isaac Cox Hilton and Gertie Cox Hilton. W.F. Hilton, William Hilton, Eugene Kanzler, Eileen Nelson and Dewey Stockton, I'm not sure, Stockton, Maddie V and Charles L. Humphrey, Nancy and John V. Humphrey, Lynn McCoy Jones, William J. and Lula Cox, Sarah Cox Johnson, Martha J. Bowman, John S. Bowman, Callie Bowman, B.F. Johnson, Sarah Walker, Jesse L. Humphrey, Oscar and Lillian Humphrey, Austin Humphrey, Albert Decatur, W.G. Wilson and Callie D. Wilson, Annie Mae Wilson Thompson, Susan Grace Johnson, Maud Ella Johnson, Maggie Alice Johnson, Sophia Caroline Johnson, Nanny Pearl Johnson, Annabelle Johnson, James Richmond Johnson, Molly M. Buttram, Sammy Wall Wilson, Sammy Johnson, Arthur Richardson, Essie May Bell Johnson, FM, wife of FM Johnson. Not sure. I think this says Cox. William Lee Johnson. Bronx Johnson. Nanny E. Bowman. Sophia C. Johnson. Eliza Bowman Johnson. Mary Brandon. Melinda J. Miller. B.F. Cooley. Mary E. Riddle. Mary E.M. Leonard, wife of John L. Burnett. John Leonard. Alice Martin Cook. Mary Cook. John Cook. Cook. Macy. Minty J. Wilson. Infant of Richardson. Mary Alice Hartzell. Walter Hartzell. Mammy Hartzell. William Wilson. Infant Richardson. Infant Richardson. Junior Richardson. Charlie E. Johnson. Mammy Hartzell. Richardson. William and Nanny. Infant son, Charlie Johnson. Thomas and Molly Wilson. Geraldine Richardson. Cleason and Rebanell Richardson. Jess and Thelma K. Richardson. Bertha Persinger Fox. Thompson Ray F. Thompson, James H. Thompson, Arthur Thompson, Thurlow Cross, Doris Marlene Wicker, Teddy Ray Wicker, Carol Janet Walls, Molly E. Loans, Robert Walker, Gracie May Loans, Hugh Loans, yeah, I got B.F. Johnson and Callie Bowman, Roy E. Cook, John Bowman, Arthur J. Bowman, Bonnie Jean Wicker, and Edgar Ray Wicker. Sarah Cox Johnson. Yes, I already got all these. So, I need to walk down here. Sorry for repeating. Lucy and Sam Frank, Ruby E. Richardson, Rufus Ledford Lowe, Ruby Elizabeth Kanzler, Joseph Edward Kanzler, Sam Edward Kanzler, Samuel Thomas Stevens, Harold Freddie Barwick, Wilma Jean Barwick, Lewis and Tori Burnett, and Mike and Billy Hilton, Harvey Lloyd Hester, and LCM, Edwin G. and Betty L. Hilton, Maud and Elmer Harris, and Dixie and William Stockton. Sutton, Stella P. Sutton, Arthur Johnny Sutton, Hazel Grace Raby, Arnell Ford Miller, Robert E. Best, Joseph E. Raby, Samuel Calvin Bagwell, Sutton Madge Cook, Mary Cook Bright, LMA Raymond Wicker, Bill Franklin Marvin Wicker, Ronald R. Harper, Nora and Zirkle M. Wicker, Ada Bell, J. Garland Loans, Sarah Cordelia Bishop, Alice and Arthur L. Riddle. See if there's one down here. Wicker. Marvin Lee Wicker, 1940, 1999. Johnny Wicker, Nanny and Tom A. Wicker, Martha Lynn, Nina Sue Lynn, William Johnny Persinger, Thurlow Price, making my way back to the front of the cemetery. W.E. Riddle, May Burnett, 89 to 1926, J.D. Riddle, Jr., John D. Riddle, John M.D. Riddle, Wilson, Margaret Wilson, some of these you can't read. Thomas D. Etheridge, Sally E. Etheridge, Tom Mark Weatherly, Tom and Mabel Frank, William Emmett Etheridge, William E. Etheridge. Okay, that one was Etheridge. Lydia Mae Riddle, W. Tella and Mac Kiger, Jenny Bell Etheridge, Thomas D. Etheridge, Claire Johnson, Maud Kiger, Leila E. Kiger, Frank, just the marker. No, Bruce and May Frank. I just Walked right around that one. Ralph L. Oren. John Clinton and Kathleen Holder Oren. S. Kenneth Oren. Ethel and Chester Oren. Mary Catherine Oren Litt. Kitty and Wilson L. Anna Lucille Oren. Beth Ann McLemore. JD and Mary A. Earls. F. Marion Johnson. Cora Alice Johnson. Martha Johnson. Floyd W. Wicker. Cordelia and Newton Green. Catherine Virginia Luttrell. Samuel Luttrell. Walter and May C. Luttrell. Maggie Lee Green. Martha and Tom E. Green. G.M. Slagar. Ellen Maud Della Green. Jacob Cup. Jasper Robinson. Parker. Michael Fender and Winifred Holcomb Fender. That was interesting. Okay. Not sure. Not sure. Patricia A. Moore. J.F. Moore. Robert Shields McGinnis. Robert S. Mildred McGinnis. Elijah and Laura Cash. Matilda Slager, Slager, Maggie Wilson, GT Wilson, Emily Wilson, Infant Daughters, Claude Thompson, Lester Thompson, Blanche Thompson, Harriet Alexander, John Alexander, Sally Wilson, Samuel Wilson, AC, Nancy Johnson, G.W. Johnson, Alice Johnson, Alice Etheridge, Raby, Johnny Raby, John William Langford, Nancy Cooley Langford, John Jess Langford, Fanny Ray Langford, Mary Elise Cassidy Langford, William J.C. Langford, Cynthia Renee Montooth, Samuel E. Maupin, Mary Maupin, I think this is Moore, Lazarus Edward and Callie Maymore, Debbie A. Moore, Sarah Moore, Claude Evans Sr., Cynthia Renee Montu, Claude Evans, Frida T. Brown Evans, Jerry L. Thomas, Carl Wilson, Pauline Wilson, Maddie Alice Monty, Sophia and Charlie Montu, Mary Gate Monteith, Ivy Monteith, T-I-T-H, Montith, Fanny Lee Raby, Hugh Elise Franks, Nellie Mae, daughter of Gertie J.T. Cox, Alexander Clarence Thomas, Edgar James, Thomas and Maddie Monteith, Elise Mary Monteith, Carrie Bryce Kiker, John B. Warwick, Wanda J. Warwick, Maddie and Thomas Monteith, Dossie, and Andrew Green, Edna and Newt Monteith, John D. and Fairley Monteith, Mary Kate Monteith. We already got these. William Lester, Leela Monteith Thomas. William Pearly Presley. Maddie Alice Monteith, Daisy Orrin and William Allen Monteith, Hazel Dale Monteith, Caroline L. Tuck, James Harden Tuck, Margie Loans Allison, M.O. Ida Loans Allison, Father John Perry Allison, Ida Loans Allison, Homer Allen Monteith, and Margaret Maurice, James L. Wilson, Olga B. Wilson, just the marker. Geneva and James Gallagher, Allison Van Parker, Sam E. Parker, Martha Parker, Jesse Hazel Tuck, John Hilton, Nancy Hilton, Terry, Mary Jane John C, Martha Shelton, A.J. Parker, Francis Parker, Arthur Baldwin, Ernest L. Cooley, Allison Ben Parker, James Cooley, George W. Gallagher. Gallagher. Blanche and Arthur Montu, John D. and Molly C. Raby, Charles and Eliza Kyle Cook, Janice Parker, Betty and William Brannon, William Jr. and Willie and Monteith Brannon, John W. and Susie J. Sutton.